We've been talking about Axelar for a while now. I've said before that this is a highly bullish project, and I've also talked about it in the past when it comes to XRP, right? This is what I mean. The XRP ecosystem has always been missing DeFi and DeFi use cases. Well, initiatives like Axelar have opened up a lot of new possibilities for the XRP ledger, thanks to interoperability and the EVM sidechain. And now Axelar is giving us some more major news that has to do with XRP. I think this is arguably one of the largest things that has happened in the XRP ecosystem since XRP began. What Axelar just achieved is really good for the market. I think that every single person who has XRP should pay attention to this, because it will shift the game completely. So, let's start by talking about Axelar. First, I've mentioned that this will be one of those projects that slowly moves up the list of the top 100, and then quickly moves up the list of the top 50, maybe even the top 25. Right now, it's at number 164. This item is worth $304 million on the market. Value when all costs are taken into account, $356 million. This item is completely broken. And even though the market has been going down recently, we can still buy this thing for 64% less than its all-time high. So when we think about this, Axelar is one of those rare chances we have in this market. I believe it will be one of the biggest ventures in this area. Yes, I really do believe that. I'm sure about this initiative because of what we've heard regarding Axelar's work with XRP. First, let's talk about the huge XRP event, which was XRP Seoul 2025. This was a major deal. Yes, Axelar was at this event, of course. Georgios Vlachos from Axelar talked to us. He made a post, and I talked about it in an earlier Axelar video. This was on August 29th, and we have pushed for XRP Seoul 2025. It's always fun to go to Korea for KBW. Axelar is now operational on the XRP ledger, and we have a big new product coming out. I'll make the announcement on stage at the event. Once more, I brought this up in the last Axelar video. I thought, what could this be? It looks like they're building on what they already have with XRP. If we hear about Axelar and Ripple in 2024, they were officially partners, right? They worked together to make the XRP ledger work better with other blockchains. This was clearly with the EVM sidechain and some other stuff as well. This changed the game for DeFi on the XRP ledger. It was awesome. We had a chat about it. We also got a huge update in June of this year. Axelar releases the first crushing connectivity for the new XRP ledger EVM sidechain. Again, this is a significant deal for RWAS and even DeFi apps, which we really appreciate. And of course, XRP has been expanding a lot in the ecosystem. And like I mentioned, DeFi is one of the key things that XRP has always been missing. I mean, this is about 95 million to 96 million in TVL for XRP right now. You have to agree that XRP should have a far bigger DeFi ecosystem, given that it has a market price of over $160 billion. This is especially true as XRP was one of the first networks in this field to have a built-in DEX. XRP is quite late to the DeFi party, but that's not all, is it? There are only 9 protocols that are linked to the XRP ledger. So certainly the EVM sidechain and what Axelar is doing for XRP are big changes that will transform the game, but that's not what we're going to speak about today. We're talking about what they said at XRP Seoul 2025. Let's get into it. Axelar will soon make it possible for XRP to get new sources of yield. Imagine getting USD-denominated yield from Ethereum or Solana, using that money to buy additional XRP, and then giving that money to XRP holders as XRP-denominated yield. This would be an XRP infinite money glitch. This chance will only be offered to people who don't live in the US. More information will be available soon. Is this the big news? It was posted on both September 10th and 11th. This was Axelar's post. Axelar and the largest EU-regulated tokenization platform are developing a new XRP product that will pay out interest. If you own a lot of XRP, fill out the form below to show that you are interested. This was incredibly hard to understand. A lot of people believed this was a scam because it came out of nowhere, and we were all like, what's going on here? So, we have the official announcement from XRP Soul, the glitch that lets you make endless money. MXRP buys XRP all the time. Minting with structured demand, MXRP increases the demand for XRP using innovative techniques, including auto-compounding. The ecosystem's success creates a positive feedback loop that makes XRP and the XRP ledger stronger. More liquidity. Using MXRP makes XRP liquidity deeper. More DeFi integration. More protocols and money come to the XRP ledger when it does well. Integrations that take use of capital network effects also bring additional capital to the XRP ledger. Again, if we look about this in a rational way, right? We go back to DeFi. The XRP ledger's DeFi is so boring. It's so little. Why? In reality, we didn't have all we required to get a lot of DeFi TVL. Last year, everything changed. We're building on it now. And now that Axelar is doing this with MXRP, it will only open up additional connectors, protocols, and capital. It's going to make the DeFi ecosystem a lot bigger, and that's not even counting institutional DeFi. But if we think about it, this is where we start to see that major moment for XRP to wake up. DeFi. DeFi has always been an important part of crypto. DeFi has always been the most popular use case for crypto. In reality, you can bank yourself and use these liquidity pools to make money. I mean, guys, when we think about DeFi, it was like the largest target from the regular banking sector because the yields you could get in DeFi were unheard of in the old financial system. So once more, DeFi has always been a significant deal for crypto. But up until now, XRP has never been really interesting in this space. But now with Axelar and these major businesses are getting involved, it is. Now that we're talking more about this, Panos, who is the co-founder of Anados Finance, which is a startup based on the XRP ledger for DeFi, is over here. MXRP will probably be the greatest thing this quarter that gets a lot of people using and doing things on the XRP ledger, getting 10% APY on XRP through DEFI yield, and just holding MXRP is a lot. In a few days, I think the XRP MXRP pool will be the most popular pool on the XRP ledger. Adding liquidity to XRP/MXRP will have almost no risk and no or very little temporary loss. You will also make money from becoming a liquidity pool and get 50% of your yield in MXRP. This is a dream that will come true shortly. Guys, when we think about this, what's one of the most important topics we've talked about in the past few years? Selling XRP. Why would you sell XRP when you can get 10% or more interest on it? This is where XRP makes passive income possible. And we also have that major moment when XRP is just being held and locked up. And this is when we really start to see the XRP supply move about. These transactions also get eaten up. You don't have to sell your XRP if you can make a certain amount of money like this. A 10% like 10% is crazy. That's better than most of the typical APYs in this area. But getting that on XRP is a huge deal. I agree with Panos. I believe that this is going to be the best pool on the XRP ledger. I also think that this will add a lot of value to the XRP ledger DEFI ecosystem. Axelar also mentioned that there is a lot more to learn about DeFi yield and XRP. So this is only the start. And we have the endless money flaw now officially revealed with Midas RWA MXRP from Crypto Airy. That makes them a buyer of XRP for life. This week, I'm excited to share my taped interview with the CEO of Midas and Axelar with the world. Ripple is also working on setting up a hub to help them enter the Asia-Pacific market, which was also announced in Seoul today. The goal of this project is to make Korea a main hub for growing Ripple's blockchain network, the XRP ledger. And because we're talking about the announcement over here, I just want to go over a few things. So this is the big news. So, at the occasion, the co-founder of Axelar, I assume they meant the Axelar network. I did translate this. This means that the Axelar network released MXRP, XRP's first liquid staking asset. He added that MXRP gives a return of about 10% each year on the tokenization platform. Hyperism, a Korean company that manages digital assets, will take care of the assets, while Midas will build the product structure for this project. When someone gives Hyperism XRP, they issue MXRP and manage it for them. A part of the profits is then returned to the user as interest. The value of MXRP shows how much money management makes, and the goal is to make roughly 10% a year. Hyperism and Excel or Axelar will be to blame if there is no profit or a loss. Users can also make more money by controlling MXRP in other DeFi apps. I realize this is a crude translation, but if we think about it, this is going to be a significant moment for XRP. The most important thing I want to say about all of this is that you should think about how wild this year has been. From the end of the case to the great growth of ROUSD, to the big growth of tokenization on the XRP ledger, to the big growth of stablecoins on the XRP ledger, to all the news about partnerships and crypto laws becoming actual, and now, for the first time ever, you can trust the XRP ledger to make money for you. You may now make up to 10% on your XRP. This is certainly a dream come true for me. It's insane that all of this has happened in just 1 year. And once more, all of this is feasible because of what Axelar has been working on, a project that is still 89% below its all-time high and 64% below its all-time low. It's trading close to its lowest point ever. This item is almost at an all-time low, just looking at it over the past year. Axelar is a huge jewel in this space, although most people would stay away from it right now because of the price chart. We need to focus on what Axelar is doing for XRP and the whole XRP ecosystem because it will shift the game completely. And this is going to have a big effect on XRP and change a lot of things about it, just based on the facts. If you think about how to make money with XRP, you'll see that it will lock up a lot of supply. That will also eat up the supply on exchanges. What I mean is that I'm really looking forward to the future here. This is a huge deal. So, with that said, I hope you all liked this video. If you guys did, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. The more free stuff I give away, the more people will follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. So, that's all I have to say, guys. This has been Nick. Thank you for watching. See you later. Transcribed by turboscribe.ai. To get rid of this notice, go unlimited.